YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for BoonBoomger episode 21. So this was the debut of the BoonBoomger 119 power-up, our Red Ranger power-up for the year. We're supposed to get some more power-ups for the other Rangers later on. I'll be curious to see what that looks like. But it made for an overall pretty solid episode. It was pretty enjoyable. I have some mixed feelings about some things, but nothing overly negative. Part of the core premise of it leading up to the debut of it is Boombot trying to help Taya achieve his dream as he finds this picture of him like wanting to be a firefighter when he was little and wants to help him achieve his dream. And he's asking him about his dream because we know that like he even says his dream is to get to the Grand Prix and to help others achieve his dreams, all that toku nonsense, but they want to know like what his main dream is, and Bundario assumes that it's being a firefighter. So that's part of the core aspect of the episode going into it. And I thought it was a nice little sentiment, and we find out at the end that that wasn't his like main dream. Like when he was little, like a lot of kids, he drew like all these different dreams up of different careers, like that old classic, like, oh, I want to be a doctor or an astronaut or whatever. And that's just kind of one of the many. And I thought that was kind of nice. It was kind of funny because it allowed the story to be kind of like sentimental, but also it was just kind of a funny beat that he thought that was the main thing, and it just happened to be, one of many of a child's dreams. Maybe we'll find out what Taya's own main dream is later, which would be kind of nice, but I thought that was kind of fun and funny. And also it was nice because when the first parts of the episode were starting, I was like, oh, this is kind of dumb that we're going to make Taya want to be a firefighter just because they want it to fit in with the theme of the suit. So I'm glad that they didn't force that character trait for the sake of the power-up. So I'm really happy about that. Now, we had this other plot going on, which did tie to the main story, obviously, of Team Rocket having this fire extinguisher monster, and then you have Black and Orange investigating it. And that obviously tied to it because the monster's theme was very much tied to it with the whole fire and fire extinguishing for later. But it was very weird because this felt like almost two episodes smushed into one. Like I felt that the Orange and the Black Ranger subplot could have been its own standalone episode that like focused on them. It just felt kind of weird. I felt that this episode should have been more solely focused on maybe the dynamic between Taya and Boombot as it was his power-up, and it felt weird that at some times until like the very end, it almost felt like the Orange and Black investigation was like the main plot. And I had mixed feelings on that because Joe's still the most annoying character to me. The sort of candy detective thing with Orange was kind of hit and miss. He looked like a weird Big Lots discount One Piece character, the way he was dressed. I'm sure it's like referencing something over there I don't get, but for me it was like, we can have One Piece at home. But it was like kind of funny, but also kind of annoying, but I don't know. I couldn't help but think that just the idea of those two working together for a focus episode that's a bit of fun could have been its own thing. And again, obviously the plot with the fire extinguishers tied into the overall plot, but just the fact that that felt like a dynamic you would usually have for kind of a focus episode on two characters, like shoved into this episode that was supposed to be focused on Taya, was a little bit weird. And when we do finally get into the debut fight, though, it was great. As usual, generic comment every week about the BoonBoomger fights are excellent. They do such a great job of making them feel epic and cinematic and memorable. There was in particular like this one shot that's kind of like a brutal shot, but like you can get away with it because of like what you're firing. It looks like he's doing like this like point blank headshot, but it's just water, so he then pushes himself off the ground, which I thought was pretty cool. I overall really do like the power-up. I think it's a pretty neat looking power-up. I was also pretty like pleasantly surprised with the way that the changer gun sounded. I was expecting it to have the annoying crackhead voice of the main changer, but it has more of a fun, kind of cool voice. Like, this is a series where it might not make sense, or it makes more sense to have a fun voice than like a badass voice, but you know me, I hate that crackhead voice we have that's in line with like the Mobirates and the Kyryuger one. The Kyryuger one made sense plot-wise, but I'm just never gonna like that type of voice. And this one was a nice one because it was like a little bit fun and had the energy of the series, but it didn't make me cringe, and I was like pleasantly surprised how much I liked the sounds for it. Then when we get into the mecha battle, I was also very happy that we didn't force the debut of Leo Rescue. Like, obviously, in the episode, Bundario wasn't working on that or anything, but in a lot of other Sentai, I could totally see him making both the power-up and the mecha and debuting at once, because I don't remember if it's out right now or not, or if, like, people who just have it earlier are posting pictures. But regardless, it's pretty close to when it comes out, and I'm really glad that they showed the restraint of not debuting them both at once, so you have something to look forward to next week. And you still had a fun mecha fight with a fun new formation, so I was really happy with that. But overall, I did find this to be an enjoyable episode. I kind of wish that the power-up like had a little bit more impact. I feel like in the past, power-up debuts in terms of the story and feel of them had a little bit more impact. This kind of just felt like, hey, here's kind of a story for the power-up because we got to sell the toys. But it was a fine story, and like I said, it was weird having that episode dynamic with Orange and Black, which could have felt like its own thing. It made for an entertaining episode to be sure, but I just felt like it lacked a little bit of impact, and I thought there was going to be a little bit more to it. But I still enjoyed it for what it was. Looking forward to seeing Leo rescue next week. But what did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for all my videos. Awesome Rider, signing out.